Welcome to Becoming Church, the podcast where we discuss how the message and movement of Jesus is not about becoming Christians, but becoming the church. I'm your host, Kristen Mockler-Young, and I am back with Naeem Fazal. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, of course. Of course. Yes.
We're actually going to talk today about, you are the lead pastor of Mosaic Church.
Last time I checked.
I am also a pastor at Mosaic Church.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
But let's talk a little bit about that. Let's get to know you. Let's get to know Mosaic.
Okay.
What is that all about?
Yes. All right. So let's see. Mosaic started as a dream. It really did. I know, right? It's so great.
Oh, so great.
So good. So good. I'm glad. Thanks for making fun of my dream. So it started with, well, I don't know if it started with a dream, honestly.
Okay.
I would say it started with a vision, probably. So, okay, let me get some background here. Okay, so I was born and raised in Kuwait. So for those of you people who do not know and stumble upon this podcast, I was born and raised in Kuwait as a Sunni Muslim, but I'm actually Pakistani. So I speak Urdu. I was born in an Arab country, so I speak a little bit of Arabic. And then I went to an Indian school, so I speak a little Hindi. And then the curriculum was in English, so we got all these. I know,
wow,
it's a lot of stuff. Okay. So, but primarily I grew up Muslim, and then I came to the States, and I wrote a whole book about my conversion. All that to say, I met Jesus. I knew I was supposed to be in ministry, and then I was on staff at a church, and I had a vision, the kind of thing.
Okay.
I was the young adult pastor at the time at that church, and I during like a worship time, I looked and saw a sea of people, but it was very different kinds of people. And so the kind of the ministry, the church I was involved in was not really diverse. Okay. But I just felt that God was calling me to speak to or reach a diverse group of people. That's what I kind of envisioned, I saw. And then I began kind of thinking about it some more and talked to other pastors, talked to that senior pastor that I worked for, and then realized through a lot of different conversations that maybe God was calling us to start a church. Okay. And from the beginning, I was like, it's got to be diverse. That's the thing. Yeah. And so Mosaic just fit the word fit. I was an art major or a wannabe art major at the time. And I thought, man, yeah, like what if we had different people coming together to make something beautiful? So like that would be great. And so the key thing about a mosaic, like mosaic tile, is it's got to be broken people. Broken pieces. Right. And so we say we're broken people becoming beautiful. Yeah. And in fact, we are the broken, not just beautiful, but we create beauty. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the big, it's kind of like a dream.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And let me rewind for a second, back you up. You just blew right past the fact that you have a book. You're like, I have a book and here it is. And guess what? I'm going to
yes.
So wait, I practiced this. It's called Ex-Muslim. Did I do it right? Why are you
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, you're trying to say Muslim?
Yes.
Correctly?
That's what I said.
No, you said Muslim.
Muslim.
It's terrible. It's getting worse.
Gosh.
It's Muslim.
That's what I said.
Muslim.
You know, people right now are in their cars and they're going.
Try it. Try it, people. Try it. Wherever you are, just go Muslim.
That's it. Muslim.
Right.
Did I get it that time?
That was right.
Okay. It's the same thing I said every time.
No, not at all. Not at all. Try it again, people. Muslim. Yeah. So I wrote a book. Yes.
So you wrote a book. They can find it on Amazon. Actually, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
If they want to check it out.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I'm also going to throw this out there. On the Naeem Fazal podcast, we did a whole entire season kind of about that book.
Yes, we did.
Breaking down background stories and digging into it a little bit more.
Yes. And in fact, it's translated in a couple of languages.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. And not any languages people speak, but no, in Finnish, the Finnish language.
Okay. Which is from what country?
Finland.
Oh, good job. I was testing you.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah. And then, oh my gosh, one other, what is it?
Is it like Portuguese or something?
No.
Nope. Not that.
Nope.
Urdu?
Nope. No, not Spanish, not the popular ones.
No. Okay.
And some Russian or something.
We could be here all day.
Yeah.
We'll find it. We'll find it. But we'll definitely link up the English version.
Please do.
In case anybody wants to listen to it.
Yeah.
All right. So you're on staff at Seacoast. You're there. Ashley's there. Your wife. You guys are already
Yeah.
married. She's also on staff.
Yes.
Is she part of this dream?
She better be. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened is so going back
Yes.
a little bit of context. So I came to the States, come to faith in Jesus. I'm in school trying to figure out what to do, trying to stay here, and we can get into all of those details. But anyways, Ash and I meet in college, and then eventually go to the same church called Seacoast.
Okay.
And then we started dating, and we dated for like 4 years. It was crazy. And yeah. So at the time when I got this vision or whatever, we were married.
Okay.
And in fact, she was pregnant.
Okay.
With Asher.
When you were like, hey, we should move.
Yeah. And she was like, are you
ourselves.
serious? Because she was like 9 months. I don't know how many months pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, oh, you got to be kidding. And I think that was the sign of like, okay, this might be legit, because she's like, okay, let's do it. So we were going to leave South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And she's originally from there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd spent a lot of time there, invested there in a lot of relationships. So this was going to be a big move for us. And then also, who's heard of a Pakistani ex-Muslim going and starting a church from scratch?
Right. No one.
I
still don't know it.
Right. So we came here, we
Uh-huh.
started the church. And what I mean by started church is we had a kind of a launch phase where we got people who were interested, and it was like kind of like, we're launching this rocket, so we're launching this. And so we had a group of people that come together, and that's where we met you.
Yes, that's right. They all moved into my apartment building.
Yes.
I will never forget that Saturday. I was outside. I don't know why I was outside. I was walking around outside, and all of a sudden I realized I had all these new neighbors upstairs, downstairs, next door, and they all knew each other. And I was like, what in the world? It was a brand new apartment complex. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So yeah, I met the guy that was the worship leader at the time.
Yes.
Said that I had led worship in college, which is true.
Yeah.
He listened to me sing and still let me come.
Oh my gosh. In fact, we have a picture because the papers, the Charlotte papers, Charlotte papers came out, did an article on us. I remember the title said, Mosaic offers a new way to do church.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're there, but
I'm there.
Your face is covered up with a guitar. It's so funny.
You have to know it's me to know it's me.
Yeah.
Or you'd never know. But yeah, I came to my very first launch meeting with Mosaic before we launched to lead worship and literally never looked back.
Yeah.
Been 16 plus years.
It's craziness.
Yeah.
It's craziness. Yeah. So, so when we started Mosaic, we knew that we wanted to do something different, but also when I mean different, I meant like, I wanted to really reclaim something. Like I wanted to go back to like, okay, what did Jesus really had in mind when he thought about church? And diversity just made sense to me because I mean, why? If you read the stories in the scripture, especially in the New Testament, the people that Jesus interacted with, they're all diverse. I mean, they're different. It's just different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think it's so great too, because I know for a lot of us, for me, especially, like I grew up in a church that all looked very much the same. The faith, the theology, all of it was very the same. It's been the same. And so to have your perspective of a guy who did not grow up in the American church,
right,
coming in and just kind of teaching it in a new way was really cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys came here with an idea, new church.
Yeah.
Then what?
So when we got here and we kicked off, we realized that we really had to identify exactly why we existed as a church, because there are a lot of churches in CL, in Charlotte, and there's a lot of churches in the US.
Yeah. And
so we began asking the question, why do we exist? Like, why another church?
Right.
And so we thought about it. We prayed about it. We had a lot of conversations, and we realized that the reason why we exist is to reclaim the message and the movement of Jesus. And so that's the reason why we exist. And I know it sounds cool, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
It means that we're here to reclaim, reintroduce, re-envision, reimagine the message of Jesus, like the teachings of Jesus, to really go back to what he meant in context. And like, for example, reclaiming something like wood, for example, is about stripping the stuff that has been caked on for decades, right? And so you strip it all back, you reclaim, because reclaimed furniture is popular, and expensive too. Like,
because they got to do all that stripping of all the junk,
right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, what is it? So it's a hard work of really reclaiming the pure message of Jesus, that has been stripped from that has been stripped and made pure, and then to reclaim the movement as well. And the movement is, again, going back to this podcast, is what does it look like to be the church? So the movement of Jesus is supposed to be, we are not a bunch of Christians. No, we are the church. And so that's why that's our mission. That's why we exist. And fundamentally, what we've realized is that the world needs to know that the message of Jesus is really hope for all people. And honestly, I think it's amazing. When I first introduced that, people were like, I'm not quite sure, because it just hit a little different for people.
And we may dig into that later in another episode, but give us because we slapped that on everything.
Yeah.
We've got Hope for All t-shirts and hats and bumper stickers and masks and whatever you want with Hope for All on it. Pretty much you can get at this point. But do you want to give us just a little, like, where did that come from? What was the thinking?
Yeah, I think that it came from just a lot of conversations that I've had over the years, how people who come to Mosaic, some of them have like serious either church heart, or they're not like de-churched or non-churched.
Unchurched.
They're unchurched or semi-churched or half-baked, or I don't even know what you call them. But basically, it's people who have a lot of baggage or a lot of just history. Like, for example, you grew up in a particular denomination, correct? And so it's the church you grew up with or grew up in is extremely different than Mosaic, would you say?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right?
Completely different. Yeah.
And so when we think when I say hope for all, when the reason why it hits differently is because people intuitively realize that the church they grew up in was really hope for some.
Yeah.
And we as a church want to change that it's really hope for all.
Yeah.
It's not hope for some, because if it's hope for some, then it's no hope at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely the idea that it's outside of our homogenous group, who we are. Obviously, we're like, sure, there's hope for us. Yeah, but across the other side, on the other side of the line, on the other side of the controversy, on the other side of the topic, on the other side of whatever, it's hope for them too.
Yeah.
So that's a really hard thing.
Yeah.
I think to really think through, but that's kind of the whole goal of this podcast, is to get people to think and question, and why do we think what we think?
Right.
Why do we believe these things? So awesome. Anything else you want to say about?
Man, I'm just looking forward to more conversations.
Yeah.
I think this is a great one on our mission. So I think the next one will probably be on our vision.
Yes, we'll do it.
Yes.
Not our vision.
Not our vision.
But our vision.
Okay, it's like a private joke, friends, about how I can't say my V's.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll hear it. It'll come out.
Yeah.
It'll come out.
Listen, all these languages.
I know.
It's craziness.
I know. All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to Becoming Church. We look forward to having more conversations with you. Make sure you're following us on social media. Naeem is at Naeem Fazal.
Yes, I am.
I am Kristen Mockler Young. You can send us questions, send us topics. Hey, if you have any cool stories about sharing this podcast with people, let us know. And you know what? If you write a good review, maybe we'll read some here. So review it.
For sure.
Let your friends know. Subscribe so you know when episodes are coming out.
Yes, definitely. And we're going to give away a car.
A card.
A card. Card.
Yeah.
Not a car.
Make sure you subscribe for that card.
I thought you said car.
D.
No?
No.
D. Our budget got cut.
To a quarter.
Yeah. We're going to give away cards.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.